Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday, roughly. Let me look at my clock there. It says about 11:30 on a Sunday. So we've been out here for a little bit, and we got quite a bit done. I was working on a process yesterday about how part of the process is going to go. So I had a little trying to work out my assembly line and everything, and trying to figure out what the best way to do this process would be. So that's kind of what I did yesterday, and I think we kind of figured it out. So while we're waiting, this is cabin 2's piers behind us here. While we're waiting on that, we've got another part of the project that is certainly moving forward. Eyes do not deceive you. That is cabin 1 that is the interior sheathing that is going up right now. So it looks absolutely fantastic. So let me show you some of the little things that I've kind of had to work on or kind of figure out as far as how the process is going to work. So I talked the other day, or I'm not sure what I shared. This is a dado here in the side. So I've called this before. It's going to be basically vertical shiplap. So from the inside, as this, these panels expand and contract, you're never going to see through to the insulation, which is going to be right here. So there's a dado here on both sides. Like I said, they overlap each other. So I have a rough side here, and then the other side is a plain side. So I've been planing one side of the boards just for the interior. The exterior stuff is going to be rough sawn, much like what you see here. Now, there's a lot of character in each one of these boards that really kind of speak to it being rough sawn lumber. So let me see if I can get a little closer here. Here's two boards kind of right next to each other. So we got some waviness right here. We've got some misset of the blade teeth on the mill here. And this is what, like I said, this is going to be covered with insulation, so you're not going to see this, but the outside boards are going to look exactly like this. So just the rough sawn with no plane, nothing like that. So this is so I've done one basically bay here on cabin 1. So I'm going to work on this bay next. And this, to get it to this point here, this is 14 boards. So there's a good mix of wide boards and more narrow boards. I think the smallest one I have in there is a 6-inch board. So yeah, so it's got nice variation. Let me show you how it looks on the inside. It's really fantastic. I honestly couldn't have asked for anything better. So minor seams within the boards themselves as they connect to each other, but it looks, I hope this comes through on the video as well. So you got some, again, more character added in here. These black little lines, we're going to sand them down a little bit, but that's from the planer. That's from the rubber wheels inside the planer, as sometimes the board gets caught and the planer actually, for lack of a better term, leaves a skid mark on the board. So that should sand off with ease. I got a little bit of wane right in here. It looks like it's a larger gap, but that's actually bark that's there. Again, really, really nice little pieces of character everywhere you look around here, which is really what we were looking for. So this piece here, this diagonal piece, is just a support right now. That's going to come down. So the inside, this is what the inside of the cabin is going to look like, minus that cross member right there. So it absolutely looks fantastic. So yeah, so yesterday I spent a lot of time figuring out how I was going to go about making the boards that are going to be this part of the interior sheathing. So let me get into that. Okay, we're obviously back up here at the mill, and this is where I'm generally getting a lot of this work done. So what my production system looks like. So I'm working off the back pile of lumber. That's the oldest stuff I cut, and that would be technically the driest that I have. And the wood is exceptionally dry. I'm actually pretty shocked at how much or how well the lumber has dried. So I first bring a board over here by the mill. So here on this pallet, I would normally have my planer set up. So I'm feeding the boards through this way, and all the debris is going out the back side. So I have another massive pile of chips that are on the back side. But I'd rather them there than really any place else that I have to clean up. So the board gets milled, it gets milled down to the specific width that I have, and then I stack them over here. So as you can see, I've got 10-inch stack, 8-inch stack, 6, and then a little couple 4-inch wide boards there. So it's from that point I will pull the board down onto the lower section here across the rails for the mill, and then I will route the grooves into it, route the dados. In fact, I've got one sitting here just to give you an idea about what that looks like. So I've got one on this side and then one on the opposite side, so that way, you know, it does. And this is the top here, this is the plain surface. So that's how every one is done. So that is what ends up going down onto the side of the cabin as interior sheathing. So some of them do have, you can kind of see it on this one here, a little bit of a bow to it. So I end up planing down the middle of it, which leaves some rough sawn lumber marks on the sides of the board, which again adds character. It's really the look we're looking for. So excuse me. So that's how that's happening. So this is a very labor intensive process. There's nothing quick or easy about this. So all of this has already been planed. So there is a flat side, or I should say a smooth side, on one side of each of these boards. I'm going to try and take off equal numbers, just so when I put it on the side, I've got, you know, kind of like a wide, a medium, and a small board up next to each other. So I'm going to try and take off even amounts and get them down the hill. So like I said, it took 14 boards to cover that one bay on the cabin. So, and I'm somewhat limited because how I'm transporting the boards down there, I'm using the log arch. I showed you that the other day with the board across it. So yeah, I'll probably just fill that up, take them down there, and by the time they get down there, they'll be cut the length, because I'm going to do that up here. And then, yeah, I really just have to nail them down once they get up there. So let's get into it. Okay, I now have prepped this board here. Okay, this is cut to length. I need 98 inches. So you can see I take off just about 2 feet of each of these boards. Now these were from the 10-foot pile. So 98 inches, 2 inches beyond 8 feet. So this makes it just a little bit less, you know, per board that I have to route and kind of do this for. So it's chopped down a length. So now I'm just going to run my router down each side. So this is the bit I have. This is a rockler bit. It's got a guide bearing on it here, and then it's a 1/2 inch. It's a 1/2 inch cutter, and yeah, it just does a great job cutting those dados in. So let me get to it. That's the process of getting those dados in there. You can see this is the result here. Again, I showed you this kind of down there a little bit. So this now is cut to length. It's got the dados in it, so it's actually ready to go up on the side of the cabin now. So I'll stack this over here on the log arch. Again, this is how I'm moving the stacks of boards down to the cabin area. Guys, I hope that gives you kind of a gist of kind of how I go about things. Again, these are already planed. When I need to come back up and plane some more, I'm going to work my way through all of this wood here, put it on cabin 1, and then once I need more siding, I'm going to show you the whole process from planing. And then I forgot, I also have my table saw out here, and that is if I need to cut off any bark that, you know, if I can get a better board, if I can get an 8-inch board better as a 6-inch board, I'll cut that off and I'll just rip it down. So, you know, it's a multi-step process. This is definitely not quick, but here's what I got so far. I've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 boards on there. So these are all ready to go onto the cabin. Now that bottom board down there, the bottom one there, that's just the kind of the base of the of my little setup here. That just creates a shelf to put things on. So yeah, so I'm gonna run inside, grab some lunch real quick, see what's going on in the world, and then we'll be back here at it. So what I'm trying to do is get one full load on the log arch there and then take that down. So I've got to route out probably 5 or 6 more. We'll see, and then we'll head down and work on the cabin. Just grab what we had off the router here, mounted up in the log arch there, and we got this down here to cabin 1. So we're gonna start on this next bay and putting up the siding. Let's get it. You saw me right at the beginning there when I first started to put these up. I had to pull one off and kind of sneaked it around the corner. It's just one of those things, you know, you get in a groove and you start moving, and you know, I just need to pay more attention. I put the smooth side out, so that's not how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna hide that another place. I still have the board, it's right there. I'm just gonna hide that in the corner where nobody's gonna see that nail hole. But inside looks fantastic. Got a couple little knot holes. Hey, you can kind of see through it right there. So we'll put up some blacking behind it. You won't even know it's there. Won't even know it's there. So yeah, looks fantastic. I'm super happy with the variation in the plank sizes. The speed at which this actually goes up is fantastic. It's really just a matter of, you know, the 22 steps that you have prior to nailing it onto the side of your structure. So everything looks good. I'm super happy with it. I'm going to continue this process until I have the whole thing kind of wrapped in. And yeah, and we'll go from there. We are just about closing up shop for the day. Rebecca was down here helping me put this last bay together. So yeah, we got just beyond that back bay right there. You know, we got about 2 boards in on the front, on this front bay here. So this was a pretty epic day for cabin 1, and I must say I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. I gotta get this fascia off too. The fascia is gonna be replaced, so kind of looks all kind of moldy and stuff right now. I need to get that off there. We're gonna put a larger one on with our soffit material and everything. But anyway, that's the fun. Boy, looking on the camera here, you can see the different these 3 boards there. That's let me look with the naked eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different boards there. It looks like a clump of different wood. Well, looks good though, I gotta tell you. I couldn't be happier with it. So this is how we're gonna end it today. It is a little cloudy out right now. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like for tomorrow, Monday, but rest assured we'll be getting stuff done, no doubt. So cabin 2 piers. Here's another glimpse back at cabin 2. So they're looking good. They're actually starting to lighten up in gray color. So they are certainly drying out. All right, guys, like I was saying, that's a wrap for the day. And as usual, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. If you guys are one of the normal, everyday kind of checking in type people, I appreciate you. I appreciate you a whole bunch. And for all you new folks, you know, welcome aboard. This is my little project. I'm gonna have 5 cabins going in here. Septic still gotta be done. We gotta run some electrical. We got a lot to do. It's gonna be a busy year. I hope you're subscribing, following along. Like I said, I got something going on just about every day out here with these cabins, so it's a nice project coming along. So like it, subscribe it, let me know what I'm doing wrong. And that's it, man. We'll see you on the next one.